play an active role in preventing and responding to gang activity. In conclusion, organized criminal gangs present a complex and evolving challenge that requires sustained, coordinated, and comprehensive action. The government remains committed to restoring and maintaining law and order, protecting citizens and businesses, addressing underlying drivers of crime, and strengthening the institution responsible for security and justice. We will continue to work closely with Parliament and other stakeholders to ensure that our strategies are effective, responsive, and aligned with the needs of the Kenyan people. I thank you, Mr. Chair, and stand ready to respond to any further questions. Thank you.
It's very low.
I think you have really attempted to respond to the questions that are being asked. And maybe we are going to take like 15 or so minutes to respond to the question before we take the individual members' statements. But before then, we have got 3 or so members who have joined us. Maybe they can just go on record quickly. And I'm sure those are the members with the statements.
Yes,
Nyenze?
my name is Edith Nyenze, Member of Parliament, Kitui West. And I have a statement. Thank you.
Yes, my name is Kakuta Maimai, Member of Parliament, Kajiado East Constituency.
My name
Member
is
with a statement is a friend of the committee.
Yes.
My name is Oku Kaunya, a member of Parliament for Teso North and a member of this committee.
Chair, my name is Kili Kalido, MP Gembe Central, and a friend of the committee. I have a statement.
But your statement has just come now, although I had also shared with the minister and the IG the issue to do with the Meru, some raids on the issue of the borders. I don't know, so I don't know whether the response may be ready. It will be the discretion of the minister to respond to. However, we will furnish with the same. So let's respond to, oh, Karoli is there.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. My name is Karoli Omondi, a member of Parliament for Suba South, and a friend of the committee with some specific questions to the minister. Thank you.
Kapondi, you want to ask a question? So we are going to take minister, maybe because I don't, from the look of things, maybe you have really tried to address the questions. Maybe we are going to take maximum 3 or 4, then you respond all of them together, then we move to the issue of statements. So we are going to go to Sarah Korere.
That was the first one.
Oh, okay, Sawa. Sarah Korere, can I accommodate all of you ladies? Then Kapondi. Okay, then Kaunya, then our sister.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, because at some stage I'll have to seek your indulgence because I have to leave for the House Business Committee, which will be starting in the next few minutes. But Chair, having listened to the Minister, I have to acknowledge that the work being done by the multi-agency team in Laikipia and Laikipia North is quite impressive. But again, Chair, there is one impending roadblock, and it is the security roads. And I want to plead with the minister, because even as you do that operation, actually we've had, at least we've slept for the last few minutes, for the last few months. But again, I still have a strong feeling that Mgogodo Forest is still heavily inhabited by bad people because of the terrain, which does not allow the multi-agency team to get deep into the forest. And even the cows, I can see my friends from Meru, and there's still a lot of stolen livestock, both from Laikipia and Meru, which is being held by those criminals in Mgogodo Forest. So my humble appeal to the minister, we have talked about security roads, and this is the right time when those multi-agency people are on the ground to do the security roads. So please, Bwana Murkomen, let's fast track that, because the moment the teams leave Mgogodo Forest, we'll be sitting on a time bomb, because these guys will come heavily on us to revenge for the small things that you have done to them, and the community will be the greatest sufferers.
Yeah, Chair, having listened to the Minister, it is very clear that they have all the solutions. What is lacking is only implementation. And while we talk about enhancing the budget so that we can sort out the mess, but there are issues that may not require budget. For instance, you know those ones who are funding the goons, the politicians, the activists, because there is no doubt, yes, we are going to an election year, and these are the major culprits. Without flagging out their names is perpetuating the problem. Because somebody would say, yes, I'm doing all this, and nobody knows that I'm doing it. So, Waziri, unless you become bold enough, and the IG and the DCI, so that these people are publicly shamed in public, that they are known, they are the ones who are doing all these things, will not go anywhere. Because that one doesn't require budget, but you to come out very boldly. Secondly, there is a problem, as you have acknowledged, the issue of the criminal justice system. We have a major problem. You find that if the DCI, for instance, does a crackdown on the ground, some criminals would run to some offices in Nairobi. I have very practical cases which I have previously shared with the IG. They will run to Nairobi, and Nairobi will give contradictory directives sabotaging what has happened.
Huyu jamaa hawezi tuambia anapandisha mafuta na 40 bob anashusha na 10, haiwezekani. Tumekataa. Hawezi pandisha na 40 bob kushusha na 10. Tumekataa. Na sisi ndio Sifuna.
They come to Nairobi for cover, and then it is frustrated. Justice is frustrated. It cannot be realized on the ground. So unless we have the DCI, we have the ODPP, and we have the courts working together, we'll be doing serious blame games, and these offices, apart from politicians, because you have mentioned politicians, which I agree, yes, they are culpable, but the offices which are also culpable are the offices of the security people in Nairobi and the offices of the ODPP, because they are perpetuating crime and they are laying the foundation for what could end up messing the security situation on the ground. So Waziri, you need to refocus on that, because otherwise blame game will not assist us.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think you have made your point, and I'm sure it's more generally of an assessment and your analysis. I didn't see much of a question, maybe. But nevertheless, we have Mumina, Wanaya, then lastly Kapondi, then we allow the minute. Okay.
Kapondi again.
Then you respond. And let's try. We have got 15 minutes in between before we go to the statements.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair. Chair, I want to thank the CS.
Ask because considering our number, and we still have the other issue of the responding to the statements, rather. Let's be precise to the point. If it is a comment, fine. Actually, I would rather ask just question, not comments, not, so that we can accommodate the rest of us.
So I have a question, Chair, but I want to thank the CS for the presence we've had in our county in terms of his visits to address issues that are coming up there when it comes to banditry and cattle rustling. And without looking like I want to conflict his report in terms of making progress, there's an issue, CS, I want to understand. while we have operation going on actively, we still get attacks, and banditry and cattle rustling are still happening. What do you make of that? Does it mean the cattle rustlers are not scared of the machinery and the government, especially where you've already declared operation in an area? Thank you.
That is Isiolo. Yeah, and Waziri, looking into your analysis, the issue of Isiolo, the issue of the criminal gangs is not really clearly stated, and I'm sure it's a big, big problem, the drug, the criminal gangs. The Speaker, I was told, just to be on record, recently the Speaker of Senate went to Isiolo for fundraise with a few members. I'm sure you have the information. They were almost, they almost failed to access the airport for almost 1 hour. And the police were ready to fight with the gangs. So that is how the situation is bad. So
thank you, Chair. Chair, my question is on the issue of criminal gangs and the goons, particularly the political goons. Waziri, you've explained very well the problem where it is. I'm asking, why are you not able to deal with it? Is it financial? This committee could step in. Is it political? These are the political leaders. I'm saying that because I will give you an example, Waziri. In your last address to Parliament, you recall a member making wild allegations about a boundary of Changara. That Changara division belongs to his constituency. The member for Sirisha raised that issue, and the Speaker did direct and asked you to be able to clarify. Indeed, the member, instead of waiting to get your clarification, goes ahead to start hovering around another constituency, Teso North. And you are aware, Waziri, I did come to your office. I wanted to follow the law. Now, delay to act on this brings a gap. And the gap is, Waziri, where these formal institutions fail to act, definitely informal institutions come in, and particularly on goonism, where maybe a political leader feels insecure in an area. And I'm sure our chair, who is the incoming governor of Narok,
your question upon the
is aware.
Yeah.
When he's threatened, he will want to come with what we call, you rightly called, these are people who will protect. But really, this goonism has to stop, and we urge you to stop. But we want to ask you, if it is financial, this committee can provide you funds. And if it is non-financial, and I agree with Honorable Kapondi, that there are some things you only need to make a decision and act. Even within our service, National Police Service are trying their best. But I think you have the power.
Okay, you have made your point. I think it's still not much of a question. I don't know. Umi, please, I will urge you, because you all know, everybody wants to speak here. We have not even gone to verse 2. Go to the point, to the question. If it is a comment, we can press it maybe for another time. So Umi, then Karoli, then we will respond when Waziri.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Chair. My question would be with regards to the report on hotspot in high-risk areas. Dadaab, Lugo, Fafi has been highlighted. And I think maybe, Waziri, you need to realize that this is also a transport issue, because once you are able to tarmac the roads in these areas, IEDs cannot be planted. So roads in these areas is no longer a luxury. It's also a security. It's a security issue, but it's also the transport access, because security cannot access these roads without the risk of our officers being blown up. Then we are having families in the office, in the police
line up also losing their loved ones. So it's a ripple effect situation where one thing leads to another. The community suffers lack of education, lack of teachers. On the other hand, the police look at the community as a threat because there's a mistrust between the two. So I would want you to capture that in this report and see how we can be able to address it. And the second issue is that gangs are also in Garissa. The report did not capture that. Waziri, when you're in Garissa, you got that report directly from the community. I remember the youth had raised that mothers are unable to go to the market because of border gangs. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Caroli.
Thank you very much.
And straight to the question.
Thank you, precisely.
Senior Counsel.
Very, very well, sir. Honorable Minister, could you please explain to us why or whether you have
Malindi media
investigation?
Leo ni mbaya.
Wangeambia jinsi kitu.
Leo ni kisu, leo ni panga moja hatari sana. Sisi ndio Sifuna.
Hakuna watu leo bana. Watu wameenda wapi?
Kina Michael Osman, mkubwa wa Kenya Police, anakataa watu wa record.
Kwa nini anakataa watu wa record?
Sielewi. Lakini leo hakuna vurugu yoyote. Mwenye kuna vurugu anashikwa. Leo mzee ule akai Jomo Kenyatta amefika. Nchi imeharibika.
Three of them have since presented themselves to the police, not arrested, presented themselves. I believe there's a sufficient technology to identify the 17 who were captured on CCTV cameras. Why have they not been arrested up to now? And finally, on 26th April 2026, there's going to be a rally in Kisumu. Could you give us, as Linda Mwananchi, the assurance that the state will provide sufficient security and not be part of the previous disorder that we have seen in our rallies?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. But on Ososi, I think we had the response. And even Karoli, you contributed so much on the same. So maybe just a follow-up to the same, but we got a response. But as you respond, Waziri, just want to add one thing. As we are continuing on this place right now, there is some kind of unrest in town regarding the protest on the fuel prices. A little bit update on the country's security situation.
Maybe that's part of the reason why you should let us also go back to work.
Trying to read.
Yes. Thank you.
Chair, maybe I could say something before Waziri comments.
Let me finish and then
this one.
Because
the speaker had already made a ruling
there are some issues which have been raised.
Later.
Like when you expect the minister to be the investigator, I don't think that is within his
Okay, you will have your time, Aduma, please.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
The chair had already
Chair, first on security roads, let me combine the question by Honorable Korere and Honorable Umi. In both cases, security or infrastructure. If you look at the report, we are saying marginalization is contributing immensely to the question of insecurity. The issue of banditry and the issue of Al-Shabaab and all these other problems we are facing in the arid and semi-arid lands of Kenya is actually directly linked to marginalization. And that you improve infrastructure, irrigation, education, connectivity, communication. When you improve all these things, the level of security improves, because then accessibility enables you to track and respond to any security challenge very fast. We reckon that, the history shows that the road Isiolo to Moyale contributed immensely to a huge drop in terms of crime. because the criminals were taking advantage of the slow road, places to put IEDs and so forth. The road of Isiolo, Modokashe, Wajir, Samatar up to Mandera is believed that it will really change northern Kenya in a big way. And so the same to Garissa Liboi. And the same to the road from Lamu Ijara. If you see that the criminal gangs are targeting those roads, it's because they know, not criminal gangs but terrorists are targeting those roads, is because they know that as soon as the road is done, they will not have the advantage of planting IEDs, and then the vehicles can move at a better speed, and the security can respond very fast. In fact, His Excellency the President
tutakunywa pombe tolewa, lakini wizi waandamane, hiyo ni kitu tumeamua, wazunguke kote wafanye chochote, lakini mheshimiwa, hatutaki kitiko hapa, mafuta ishuke. Wananchi wanalalamika sana, mafuta ishuke. Wanafunzi wanafaa shule, nini itakuwa? Tunazunguka mimi hatuwezi rudi kulipa skuli tena, sisi tushamaliza.
And for the Mukokodo Forest, already the National Security Council gave a direction on security roads. 1 billion shillings was set aside, provided for in the budget. It's with the Ministry of Roads, and we're working together with the Ministry of Roads to see part of the roads include Mukokodo Forest roads, how they can be implemented either by KERA or use KDF to help us, especially in these very difficult places like Mukokodo Forest, where access is a big issue. And so for the honorable member, I will work with the Ministry of Roads to ensure that this is delivered. On the solutions, I think many people are saying that why am I coming here to look like I'm writing another book of lamentations on the question of gangs? I am lamenting.
Ilipitia wapi? Na hiyo mafuta ilikuwa inapelekwa wapi? Kama za container wanajonga zinaenda port na wanatoa magari na nini? Hiyo mafuta kwani
we did the operation that we did in Kitale. You saw one of the leaders coming, to the media and say, "Oh, youth are being targeted. This government is targeting you." Okay, the same youth attacked young people who are registering voters. So we need public support, because where there is interference, leaders play a significant role, and they are powerful and important. Leaders can mobilize 10,000, 20,000 people. There is no amount of police officers in a rural county that can defend public institutions or individuals against a mobilized 10,000, 20,000 people. So I have said it, and I want to repeat that irresponsible leaders are the greatest threat to national security. That is period. And using such platforms to raise the level of awareness and ask for national consensus conversation, I am happy that now there is a conversation. Everybody is crying about gangs. There was a time it was monopolized by a few leaders. Now it is owned by more leaders, and they are fighting with more leaders. So the whole place is chaotic. And the people who are causing this chaos are those in leadership. This is the right forum for me to raise the awareness. No amount of guns, bullets, tear gas can resolve this problem. Let me tell you, if you, a small county like Busia, not so small, if you are counting the number of police officers in that place, there are very few officers, and they are focused on police station, general duties, administrative work, and so forth. To have even a rapid response unit there, maybe one unit. To have, you can't even have there, you can't say you have enough GSU. So the first point of call when it comes to safety of the people is a society that has a consensus about living together in harmony, a dignified political discourse that focuses on issues, competition that is around issues. I must say that I'm very proud of my county. You know, not to say this here, but Elgeyo Marakwet is one of the counties that has no single criminal gang, no goons. It is the only county where, I was a senator just the other day, you can give a lift to your opponent. You know, you're going together to a baraza. You talk, and you can even ask your opponent, nisaidie 5,000, kwa sababu wewe you are in office, na unaweza peana 50 kwa harambee, nisaidie 5. People laugh after the campaigns and they go home. But in a number of counties, leaders cannot just come to church. Merely church function is impossible. You go to some church Harambes and you cannot even, someone cannot even be preached. Some characters who are drunk behind there are shouting, 2-term this one, 2-term the other one, 1-term this one, 1-term the other one. It's just unbelievable. So it will, I must emphasize, Chairman, it is not a policing issue. It should not be a gun issue. It should not be an enforcement issue. It's a question of good manners. Yeah, it's an issue of leadership, that the entire leadership must rise in one accord to accept that we need to bring order to our country. And that's why we are raising this issue here. Some leaders, and I agree with some leaders,
to that level. Right now, all those promises, we do not even see one promises. He just carry on selling the state property. So right now, to me, what I can say, Ruto is 1 term, and Ruto with his followers, and we are ending up this government, and we shall not even see this police again. Ruto must go, is only 1 term. Thank you.
1 term. 1 term. Kupikia na stove mafuta taa imepanda, pia Ruto mafuta taa, of all the things mafuta taa. Hata ungepandisha kila kitu, lakini mafuta umeharibu kila kitu. Ngojea jeshi ijae hivi sasa. Hao askari wako ni urife don.
Sisi kama Gen Z tunasema tuko na red card.
First lesson of constitutional law, you will be told in first year that there are things that judges must take judicial notice. You don't need to plead it before a court of law for them to appreciate that the country is suffering because of these acts of goons and gangs. But yet, judges are still releasing these people to the public. They don't care about the bail terms. A number of opposition leaders have appeared before court. It is enough proof to say that rights have been violated and release these people to go.
Anapanga wale wa jamaa. Mimi sijui kwa nini mnachelewa hapa. Mimi kama Donda naenda home sasa ni wiki ya pili najaza mafuta, lakini siwezi enda mpaka bibi alitoroka juzi na watoto. Ona vile niko. Sina hata mtu wa kufundia ya Ruto.
Umepandisha fare?
Fare tujapandisha.
Wakiweka watapanda.
Ukipandisha fare unapeleka ofisi, unanyang'anywa license yako ya kazi. Sasa tujui tuende Uganda ama tuende Ethiopia. Hebu tuambie mali tuende.
Vijana wakisema tuko kadi, Kitale wanatumiwa guns, wanapigwa.
Ukipandisha fare, abiria anaenda kusoki wewe ofisi. Unanyang'anywa license yako ya kazi. Ukinyang'anywa license, which means wewe ni mwizi.
Sisi vijana tunataka kadi, tunaumia. Pesa mafuta kutoka hapa mpaka moja tunalipa wanchwani.
Transportation. Sasa sijui kwa nini mnachelewa. Tunachelewa kwa nini?
Akisema wako kadi wanabambiwa. Wanatumiwa goods.
You are transferred. Okay? You are either transferred or you are warned or you are asked to release people. So the IG is also under pressure from all of us, including yourselves, including all of us, executive, yourself, judiciary, big people, business people, billionaires, and so forth. Always saying, hiyo ni mtu yangu, wachilia ule, fanya hiyo. We need to allow the National Police Service to do its work independently. And we agreed that with the IG that whatever, and the IG has said it publicly that he will not interfere with the work that is done by his officers on the ground, except if the complaint is that the officers are corrupt and there is need to remedy the situation because of security concerns. So political interference and other kind of interference also is common, and I cannot deny that sometimes even senior police officers and senior executive members and senior parliamentary leaders occasion this, and it's something that we must deal with continuously. Somebody has asked why attacks are happening on operation. Yes, in Isiolo. You know, I don't, because you are a local there, and I also come from the same region, I don't even do that. The problem we are dealing with is not, this is a systemic issue, historical, and embedded in the society for very long. In the past, they have seen cases of operations where police come, they fight police, they run away, they fear, or they do this. In some cases where we've been successful, like the areas that I've explained to you, it was also which was last year.
Haki yetu ndo tunataka. Hatunyanyasi mtu, hatukuli chakula ya mtu koteli, hatupigi mtu na mawe. Tunataka tu haki yetu, fueli irudi chini, mavijana wapate kazi, mavijana oye! Mavijana pia rara!
What we should be asking ourselves about the Isiolo and this and Meru and also Samburu side is, and I think you are right on this one, and Honorable Sarah Korere was right, sustained operations. Because if you cut a snake's tail and leave it to wander around, it will attack more people. So I agree with you that the operation should just be sustained until the end. It's also very sad. You saw the pictures of the ones that were got and killed and whatever, and you saw they are very young people, 17, 18, 19. You pity the ignorance that is in there. They feel powerful when they have that gun. Combined with young age, ignorance, and education, poverty, bad mentality, those people become emboldened to do things. And then hero worship and being encouraged and being told that you are fighting for your future. So, but if we sustain the operation the way we've done, I have no doubt that we will succeed. Why are we on the question of Changara division? That is an issue that is 20, 30 years old. So it is not going to be solved in just one morning. What we will only have to deal with is leaders using violence to resolve a boundary issue that has been with people for a long period of time. There is no value in that kind of, and I think the message to IG is that we need to make sure that the enforcement is done to avoid any leader using gangs to terrorize citizens. I've answered the roads in Dadaab and all that, marginalization, gangs in Garissa, I agree. This report, Mr. Chair, may need actually to be updated. Even when I was looking at it, a lot of update needs to be done, but also some places where it's called hotspot, really. When you ask a hotspot for what, they tell you for petty thieves and so forth. Maybe we need to just provide Parliament with hotspots of serious crimes. Then the rest of the issues that can be sorted can be dealt with. So I know Madogo in Garissa had also a similar challenge of gangs and so forth. Lastly, Honorable Karoli has asked about these gang members. I don't need to tell you, Karoli, you are not a stranger in Jerusalem. You know Kisumu, you know Nyalenda, you know all those places. You know what has been happening. It's not Kisumu alone, includes your own county. You know the same in Siaya, Migori. If you had come from another country, I would explain to you. You know for sure that Kisumu is a hotspot of gangs and goods. And it's not only you, everybody else here knows, because we have used Kisumu town, that as long as you are passing a particular area and they know certain leader is coming or whatever, you will either have boys asking you for kuchunga hour, or they are targeting you, a particular person, because another one has mobilized us against the other person, and they are not loyal to anybody. They are loyal to the one who pays. Who pays the piper calls the tune. And they are available, not Kisumu alone, all these goons and gangs are available for hire. The man who will take care of them today, yeah, will only be doing so because he has the capability and time. When time changes, another one will do it against him. And that's why we're having this conversation that we need to deal with gangs issue. Now, what happened to the Osotsi issue? The Osotsi issue was the DCI circulated the pictures. As you said, some of them presented, 3 of them presented themselves. The rest of the 13 or 14 were gone out of the country.
Why police are they arresting us? What crime have we committed? What crime have we committed?